Yes. And here we are once again. If you're watching this live, that of course means it is Wednesday at noon Eastern Time, which is always, well, not always, but most of the time, the vast majority of the time for the High Noon Hemp Show. Of course, you can find us in many places. We're on Facebook, the Temptations Beach Facebook page. We're also on X at Temptations if you want to check us out there. And of course, YouTube, the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel. I'm, of course, Stoner Jesus. I do various things on the interwebs that you can check out. He is Beach, who right now has his mic muted because I cannot unmute him. So, but when his mic is unmuted, then he is here.
Oh,
And
I unmuted.
Beach,
Do
who
the old
looks like he's
you
Beach is on the lam, or he's recording a hostage video or something. Beach, besides your location, and having to keep everything hush hush. How are things this week in the world of temptations?
Happy New Year! It's true. I'm at an undisclosed location for my New Year safety. I'm just kidding. Just the new studio with something I'm gonna decorate, and I have a wall. I'm gonna by the middle of this year when I'm back on the boat to do the show. I should have like a cool new studio. We'll see. So, Happy New Year, everybody! Goodbye, 2024. Hello, 2025.
Indeed.
It has happened. It is here. Stoner, do you know what today is?
Besides being the start of a brand new year, what day is it, Beach?
New Hemp Year Day! Hemp Day! Shit. Remember, everybody, it is Hemp Day, but the FDA has not evaluated this show for safety or efficacy.
Indeed.
With that being said, let's go ahead and do the pledge and get on with it. Everybody, peace sign over your hemp. I pledge allegiance to the hemp fields of America and to the soil in which it is planted. Seed under the sun with responsibility, sustainability, and thrivability for all. All right. Well, 2024, I'm calling 2024 at this point the year of intoxicating hemp. Intoxicating hemp was not even a subject. Barely, I should say, barely a subject in 2023. But it was the subject in 2024 when it comes to hemp. There's no doubt about that. We see many states trying to ban it, including Ohio. All of them have pretty much failed at this point, except for California. We're still waiting to see how that lawsuit turns out. They didn't stop the ban. And so that's still going on. But everywhere else, and I'll talk about it more because we got some good news in some states just this last week when it comes to bans and THC and THCA and intoxicating hemp, what they call intoxicating hemp. And again, I would almost say that we could go back to 2022 and there was probably zero mention of intoxicating hemp. And then all of a sudden, 2023 kind of blew up. 2024 was all the subject. We also learned what in 2024? CBD kills mosquitoes. 100% effective in killing mosquitoes. Hemp, of course, now we learned can make circuit boards in computers. And so, as always, if you're an avid watcher of the High Noon Hemp Show, we are always discovering new products being made out of hemp. I do that after almost over 30 years of research. I've literally researched hemp for over 30 years and still coming up with new material. So here's to 2025. What will be made of hemp next? What's going to be the next revolutionary hemp products? We saw hemp siding coming around, hemp composite siding last year, all kinds of just unbelievable things, just like every year. I could always go back and probably list all the cool and exciting things we learned in 2024. But hey, you could always go back and watch all the shows on YouTube. Just go check out the Jedi Hemp channel. You join the cult of hemp. There's no doubt about it. This is the number one cult for hemp and all things hemp. So sit back, enjoy. Don't get too sucked in, or you'll have to be here, set an alarm every Wednesday for the High Noon Hemp Show. There's no doubt about it. And once again, because I can't see, very likely, yes, very likely you could possibly do. Now, I think they're actually using the fiber as part of the circuit boards because the fiber is actually conductive. So I don't know about using, say, hemp composite to print a circuit board, but I think the ones they were actually using was more like a paper almost kind of thing where I think the fiber was still in there, so it could still possess a current because hemp fiber is conductive. And so yeah, we'll see once they start getting those made one way or another. And so, welcome everybody. 2025. Here we are. And I'm pretty excited about this year because we got some super good news to finish the year. I have to say, we probably got the best news that we could in Ohio and across the country because Ohio did not vote on their ban that Governor DeSwine wants to get pushed through. For the second time last year, he tried this, didn't work out, stalled. So we've got some time on that, possibly until June. Hopefully they'll come back with, once again, an age. I'm okay with 21 and older for intoxicating hemp. We keep all our stuff behind the counter anyway, so I'm for that. And other than that, they shouldn't try to change anything. And then, of course, we got another year extension on the federal farm bill. And if they would have passed the farm bill that's on the table right now, it would have been a pretty decisive hit to intoxicating hemp as well. So we really kind of luckily got lucky that they're fighting over subsidies or whatever they're fighting over. It's not the hemp part, but maybe when we go back, we can, lend your support to the federal government. Called your congressmen and all, and let them know to not change anything in the federal bill when it comes to industrial hemp, the farm bill, unless they want to up the percentage of THC, which is a great idea. Take out the ban for anyone with a felony. So if you have a felony in the United States, you're not legally allowed to grow industrial hemp, even if you're growing for fiber or grain. It has nothing to do with it. And so that needs to be removed. But other than that, we just need to leave it alone and then leave it up to the states. Just let the states. If the states want to try a ban on some of this stuff, let them try it and see where it goes. So far, it's gotten terrible reviews everywhere. All the states almost that have tried to ban, like I said, it got overturned by the highest court in the state. And so, hopefully that will continue, to be honest with you, and we just leave it alone and we just go forward. And, the medical marijuana people can have their money, and the recreational marijuana people can have their money, and the industrial hemp people can have their money. I don't know why we can't all share the money. And of course, it's just greed that the marijuana industry is fighting against the hemp industry. And it's just like ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous. But anyway, so hopefully in 2025, weed can get along. We can all get along, and just pretty much leave it the way it is, unless you're living in one of those states that have passed some draconian cannabis laws that again are just ridiculous. And so one of the Dakotas probably. I'm looking your way, Dakotas. Even though I heard a rumor that South Dakota they're really embracing the hemp now, even though originally the governor basically thought it was like a terrible drug that the kids were going to die from if we grew it in their state. But apparently there's some hemp being grown in South Dakota now. Crazy. Maybe in 2025 all states can grow all cannabis for all reasons. Let's all shoot for that. That's a goal, right? I don't want a rescheduling of what they call marijuana. I want it taken off the controlled substance list. Start a cannabis division of the ATF. Like I said, you can call it fact. Um, and you know, let's keep moving forward with the freedom of nature. Freedom of nature. All right. That being said, how about some products? You guys want to see those? 4 from the store, 1 from my door here on the High Noon Hemp Show. These, the THC Delta 9 drinks, once again, legally extracted from industrial hemp, 100% legal, are kind of the newest thing. I see them everywhere. Every brewery has a Delta 9 drink as an option. Coffee shops are picking up cans, Delta 9 stuff. Um, these steak cools, which we just picked up just this last week, lemon berry, pineapple, strawberry, and watermelon. These are 25 milligrams of THC Delta 9. And even for the money, they're still like unbelievably priced. I paid $8 at a brewery for 2.5 milligrams. Okay.
Wow.
So according to those standards, I should have put $80
Right.
a piece on these steak cools. But did we? No. We barely jacked them up at all. That are pretty much normal because they're a great product point to me, so they're a great product point to you. So that once again, that's just added to the fully stocked refrigerator of THC Delta 9 drinks, including these 2 new ones, which are old Uncle Arnie stopped over the holidays and left me some drinks. These are Uncle Arnie's. He's got the Magic Zen Magic Tea, which is good. It's slightly sweetened. I've already tried one of those and actually liked it a lot. And then the Cherry Limeade, which I haven't tried yet, but I'm sure I will soon. And again, these are just 10 milligrams. This is just a good little dose. I will have to reference once. I drank one of those Stay Cools yesterday, as a matter of fact, and I was like, I could feel it. Like I was like, ooh, like I wouldn't drink one. I mean, it's a nighttime drink. It's not. I mean, some people I'm sure are much better at that than me. But I'm getting old and less THC in me now. But I do have to say, usually drinking it and eating it's different than smoking it or vaping it. They all affect me differently. And I know how it usually, and again, edibles usually always. And this goes back for my many years of experiencing hemp or cannabis edibles. That the THC usually takes me down in edibles. But anyway, if you like tea, this tea is really good. And then if you like something like cherry limeade, I feel like that might be good. And again, I'm not. I'm just saying, if you like a little alcohol, maybe you might put some vodka in there. It might taste good. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not promoting drinking because I promote cannabis use. I don't drink much, but I'm not a non-drinker. It's okay. So anyway, and the next ones are wallets. I was working in a store last week and had a mom come down with her kids to pick their dad out a wallet. Thought that was pretty cool. And they had driven so they had gone to the Sharonville store originally, which were closed there. The north side's the only thing. But the kids picked out a cool wallet, got to play with Super Bun Bun. They were super excited. We have a rabbit. If you don't know, I inherited a rabbit. Happy New Year! And so that was exciting. But if you need a wallet, we got plenty on the shelf, plenty to choose from.
Right.
And the last one are some dog toys made out of hemp. They got a little squeaker in them. I love how much real specific detail they put into these dog toy cans of fake drink. They call it higher elevation. If you look down there, they say 420 milliliters and 7.10%. So they really put a lot of cannabis thought into these as well. So they're kind of fun. I can tell you, I don't think I ever gave Josie one of these and timed her, but she'd have the squeaker out in like 7.1 seconds, and then probably have it de-stuffed in 4.2 minutes. But anyway, fun dog toys. Made out of hemp, safe for the dog. It's not a synthetic fiber, so they're not chewing on plastic or whatnot. It's not cotton, which is full of chemicals and is an unbelievably well. You can't. I don't even think a cotton treat. My dog would eat a cotton treat. I think in 7.1 seconds. She doesn't eat the hemp treats, but it takes her a minute to get them tore up. And I've got some hemp dog toys of hers, that she played with on a semi-regular basis, and are still in pretty good shape, which I think is, again, a testament to the hemp itself. So there you have it. 4 from the door, 1 from my door here on. Oh, I didn't show you the one from my door, by the way. I'm getting ahead of myself. Got all excited about these cans. The one from my door is very appropriate. It was actually snowing a little bit earlier, but this is my hemp snowboard. So this is in my private collection. Now, I'm a skier, actually. I don't have any. I had an opportunity to find some hemp bindings, and I flaked on it, and I can't find them anymore. But there was a company that was actually making bindings out of hemp as well for snowboards. I do have a pair of Nike hemp snowboard boots, ski pants, ski jacket made of hemp, all that stuff. But this is my 420 snowboard. I think the next time my oldest needs a new snowboard, and I don't think he goes that much, so he's probably pretty content with his, and he might inherit this one. This might be actually one of the things that I have, the hundreds and hundreds of hemp stuff that I have that my oldest might actually want. Anyway, and what that is now, just like the hemp skateboards, if you don't know, skateboards and snowboards are basically made in layers. So it's, a layer of material over the top of a layer of material over the top of a layer of material, and they're all different consistencies of material, so that it's still pretty solid, but you have bendability in it. It has a little bit of flexibility. And so putting the hemp in there, I think, adds to the durability of it. Again, it adds for quite a bit of pliability, but it actually, I think, really adds strength to the entire board. And if you've ever raised a child who was a true skateboarder, you know that they make every attempt that they can to break it right in the middle. Or maybe the tip. Sometimes they break the tips off, but and so I think that and that's the goal with the better the skateboard that you buy, the better the snowboard that you buy, the stronger they are and the longer they'll last. That's for sure. So there's the one from my door, my hemp snowboard from 420 Snowboards, and there you have it. 4 from the store from my door here on the High Noon Hemp Show.
Indeed. For those of you wondering, I know many of you wonder many, many times a day, has the Guinness World Record people got in touch with us about Beach's massive, one-of-a-kind, record-setting hemp collection? They have not. Inexplicably, they continue to ignore us. You go down their feed at GWR on X, it is nothing, well, it's almost nothing but ridiculous records. They have no impact on anyone. Like, they have a bunch of cell phones or, a bunch of Christmas trees in your house. Something just dumb. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. It's dumb. But they don't really care about hemp. Why? I don't know. Maybe one of the early founders of the Guinness World Records, maybe a bale of hemp fell on him and crushed him, and they have some kind of vendetta against hemp. I don't know. Seems unlikely, but you never know.
He could have been in the Battle of Hemp.
That's right.
The Battle of the Hemp Bales over in Lexington, Missouri.
Hemp killed his Paul.
Scored him for Hemp killed Great Paul in the Civil War at the Battle of the Hemp Bales in Lexington, Missouri, and I hate hemp now.
They pass it down to generations. In any case, we will continue to chronicle Beach's massive hemp collection with the beachwear segment when I ask Beach one very simple question, which is, what are you wearing, Beach?
It's true. And if you're curious, how am I going to start the year? Now you know, with my favorite color combination, purple and green. I felt like it was very appropriate to start the 2025 and every year maybe with purple and green. It's maybe a new tradition. I don't know. But on top there, you can see living the high life. Always living the high life. That's actually a New Jersey headwear, which was also headcase. I don't know if they became headcase after or before this high life hat. I really don't know. I want to say after maybe. I had a hood lamp jacket. I probably should have had another jacket on, but I haven't really had to go outside today, um, and so I'm holding it down here at the Hemp Colt headquarters. Um, but because it's cold, but it's nice if I got to run out to do something with the dog or something. I got a Young Maven Hemptations University T-shirt there. My pants are actually some Pan World Traders. I'm really kind of breaking out some. I don't know positively that these pants have ever been on. What are you wearing, Beach? I'm not positive. I'm gonna have to go back and look, but those are actually again Pan World Traders. I believe became Ecolution, if that's how that worked out. I know they had a different name as well, and I cannot believe I'm flaking on it. Um, but it's just a nice pair of pants. In the pocket there, of course, my Green Springs technology. Then that's one of the 3D printed pens. If I got a pocket, I've got a hemp pen in it. Uh, Underneath it all, pair of Satori briefs. Those are also my purple cantilever knee highs. Socks, those are also Satori. And then a pair of wicked, I call them boots, low cut boots. That's what we'll call low cut boots. Um, and once again, mentioning I wore my wicked boots, I think my black ones for the last show. Still have not checked to see if hemp wicked boots are available on the interweb yet. Their new line is what we're looking for. And so at some point I will try to remember to check that out. Or you can go and see, just Google it. Wicked hemp boots and see what pops up. They're supposed to have a new line coming out soon. All right, there you have it. If you're curious, what are you bringing in the new year in purple and green here on the High Noon Hemp Show scene? Okay, now I don't know what trailer I picked, but it's going to be exciting to bring in the new year one way or another. So let's check out this hemp movie trailer from Planet Everywhere Studios. We'll be back with some news.
Very, very hopeful.
Yes,
Upbeat
I feel
for the
like I picked pretty appropriately. I saw the socks I had on in there. We
right.
still carry most of those products. I was pretty old, so remember we don't have all the stores, just North Side and but that was a good kind of started slow build up for 2025 one way or another. All right. Here's something a fun release for 2025. So if you're on YouTube watching the show, after you're done, you can go watch the USDA's release the video called Unlocking Hemp Seeds Nutritional Benefits. Okay, once again, this is a USDA government film um, called Unlocking Hemp Seeds Nutritional Benefits. And again, I think that they're really trying to educate on how healthy hemp is so that more farmers will grow it as well. So good on you, USDA, actually doing the right thing instead of kind of ignoring hemp, because again, they've been pretty good. They sent out national surveys this year. I think the USDA really wants to be successful hemp growing commodity uh, for the whole world. And so, if you're curious about what they think of unlocking hemp seeds nutritional benefits, go check that out. It's on YouTube, like I said. And if you're on YouTube, it's not very far. It's not too far of a click away. Maybe it'll follow this show on after we're done. So, New Scientific Review says that there is accumulating evidence that CBD has antidepressant properties in humans and animals with few side effects and may also aid in the reduction of inflammation and formation of new brain cells. And again, yes. And now this is a review. So, reviews, what a review means is that they have actually gone and looked at multiple studies and seen the results of multiple studies, and they bring all these studies together and review them and then basically see whether things hold up or not. If there's 50 studies that show any one of these things is true, then they're going to say the potential is pretty high that this is actually good for whatever that study may be for. And again, obviously, they were looking at the multitude of mice studies, because there are a lot more studies on CBD and things like that on mice than there are on humans right now. And so, as we get more successful mice studies, lead to more successful human studies, which lead to good reviews, so to speak. And so these are all things I've talked about as far as probably the studies are showed that a lot of this stuff is true. Um, I think that we can, I think it's kind of funny now. We need to move on from, say, inflammation. There have been enough studies to actually prove CBD is good for uh, inflammation, or fighting inflammation, I should say. And so it's like, let's move on to some other things. Okay, let's stop proving that, because every study tends to prove that. And we've had enough of those at this point. I really think that. The next one's going to be some pharmaceutical company that's putting CBD in a pain medicine, maybe, that are going to actually have to go through trials to get it approved. But I think there have been enough studies that have actually proved that CBD is definitely good for fighting inflammation, pain related to inflammation. Again, like I said, I don't 100 times on the show, our customers come in for one of three reasons mainly for CBD: sleep aid, anxiety, and anti-inflammation or pain relief. And then there's a lot of other reasons, little bits here and there, is why people use it, because it's pretty successful at doing a lot of things. Find those medical studies. If you have ailments, specifically like heart related, as I talked about in 2024, studies have pretty much proven that CBD reduces blood pressure. In such a sense that it's probably one of the key warnings that we like to give new customers, because if you're on blood pressure medicine and then you start using CBD, your blood pressure can come down so much that it could be dangerous. Um, but it's highly effective at that, as studies show. And so, but once again, be careful. You got these. There are some drug interactions, because CBD is pretty good at doing a lot of things. There are obviously some drug interactions that we need to be careful of, which is another reason why the FDA needs to do something when it comes to CBD, so we can have these warnings. Like, we can't officially put a warning on, say, the tincture or somewhere that says CBD may lower, just may say may lower blood pressure. Be careful to consult your doctor. To make sure that you're not lowering your blood pressure so much that it then becomes harmful that way. So, and again, that's why it is a lot. It is important. I'm pretty sure that as a pain reliever, using its anti-inflammation properties, um, it does not counterinductive to any other pain medicines, as far as we know, because again, it fights the inflammation. It doesn't make the pain go away like a lot of pharmaceuticals do. It actually fights the inflammation that causes the pain, and doesn't. When I say doesn't make it go away, I say it doesn't make it go away in your brain. The pain is still there. Your brain can't feel it on pharmaceuticals. Okay, when you use something like CBD, as we have found from our customers and all the studies and testimonials that are out there, is that it actually removes the pain. And it doesn't just play tricks with your mind. It helps fight the things that cause the pain, which is what you should be doing, not just triggering something in your brain to turn it off. That's not healthy in any way, honestly, and no good way to heal. It's no good way to heal. If you want your body to be in homeostasis, you can't just make pain go away in your brain and think it's going to get back to normal. That's just not the right way to look at it. Terpenes. Here's something that I predict. And again, talk of terpenes has been creeping around for a while. 2025 might be the year at terpenes, because we're really starting to break them down into um, not just how they smell, because terpenes are mainly what's responsible for the smell of cannabis, how it tastes, so to speak, as well. Um, but they also have therapeutic value, we're finding. Um, this article that I found is like, and a lot of these, again, we're really finding to be true. You've got limonene, which is actually more mood boosting and energizing. So if you're looking for a cannabis, I think that what we're going to find is, yes, maybe most sativas may be more on the uppers and indicas more of that, but I think what we're going to start finding is it's more going to be the terpene contents of the cannabis as to whether, and that's or the THCV content, which they're finding is more of an uplifting, appetite suppressant. Even, I don't know if we're going to start, and I think I did just read something about how they are naturally boosting the THCV levels. And I've seen a couple articles so far that theorize that THCV will actually be good for late weight loss. And so we'll see as that more comes out, but we're seeing more of that as we see. But I think that's going to, like I said, it's going to be as much terpene related, more moving forward as to kind of the effects that you may get from the cannabis. And then you have pinene, and I think everybody has probably used cannabis if you're a semi user. of cannabis, and that's the one, basically kind of tastes, smells like pine. This one is like really good. We know that cannabis is a bronchial dilator. Happy New Year! Um, and so this is that, but we're actually finding that pinene might be good for anti-inflammatory. Put that on top of your, use your CBD flower with pinene. But it's also maybe good for improving memory and focus. Um, and once again, it describes it as a natural bronchial dilator. All cannabis is a natural bronchial dilator. Okay, cannabis is actually medically described or scientifically described as a stimulant. Okay, and so it increases the heart rate. And how it does this is it actually opens up the small passageways to the lungs, bronchial dilator, makes it easier to breathe, increases heart rate. We've always known for a long time, one of the medical facts that I would quote, 30 years ago was, is if you were having an asthma attack, one of the best things you could do is take in some cannabis. Which seems counterintuitive, but it's a scientific fact that we know medically that's how cannabis affects our lungs and our breathing and our heart rate. So, backing that up with terpenes makes sense too. And it kind of leads back to all, any of the studies that they're doing. Like, again, if you study just one strain of cannabis in a study, um, that still might not work as well as another kind of cannabis. There are hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of what they call strains. Um, again, we're still learning what we can do, combine this with that and do this and take this out and take that out. And, cannabis is the one thing that's made botany and horticulture cool for the last 30, 40 years. No, I shouldn't say that. I love botany. I love horticulture. I love farming. I love all things natural. But cannabis, and I have said this, 100 times as well, if not 1,000 times, cannabis is the most genetically modified plant through breeding of any agricultural crop that we have ever grown in the history of humanity. Period. You can't even begin to rival it at this point. And again, a testament that is, it only took probably 1 year's rotation of hemp farming to boost CBD in the flower and keep that THC down and all those other things. So it's just amazing how quickly we can manipulate this plant to giving the endocannabinoid receptor system that all our bodies have. It's in the brain, it's in the body, it connects to the CB1 receptor, CB2 receptor. I think I read just recently that they may believe that it actually connects to, no, I think it's just CB1, CB2. But that's the whole body. Those two receptors run all through our bodies. And so, our brain is built to take in cannabinoids and do with them what the body needs. And I think terpenes are now going to be, a huge focus on that. And they also, myrcene is more on the sedative side. So if you're out there looking for cannabis in any form to ingest, smoke, um, myrcene is on the sedative side. And again, limonene is on the kind of energizing side of things. And again, I would highly recommend researching terpenes if you use cannabis, especially in the flower form, and really see what we're finding out different terpenes do, not just as far as a flavor palette, but as far as having therapeutic value. So it's I've seen it coming for a while. We'll just see if terpenes aren't on the one of the main subjects. Yes, Tennessee. Good job. Judge banned the ban. So the politics tried to ban intoxicating hemp in Tennessee. Judge said, no, not you can't do it. And this all runs basically at the same time that the state of Tennessee and the city of Spring Hill in Tennessee are ordered to pay $735,000 because of an illegal THCA seizure. I think it was something like 230 pounds was seized at this farm, and it was THCA flower, not THC. Um, and they seized it, and lo and behold, once again, this is not the first time, and probably won't be the last time that someone has been arrested or had hemp stolen from them by the police, and then the police are held accountable. Okay, the important part here is that the police have been held accountable for not doing their due diligence and knowing the law. And it's really the prosecutor's fault in this little community of Spring Hill, where there was obviously probably a big Tennessee farm, or maybe these people were growing and then invested and had it in a warehouse. I don't know. But the fact that they held the state accountable and the city accountable really goes to show that the state doesn't know its own laws just as much as these small little communities don't know what the laws are when it comes to industrial hemp. Okay. Um, and basically, what that is everything is legal. Okay. Unless the state passes a law saying it's not. You know, as long as that flower has that 0.3% THC or less, it's industrial hemp. And everything you make out of that is industrial hemp. And that's why when you go in front of the judge, because you banned it, the judge says you can't do that. You can't say this is a legal product. Okay, and it's in line with all the other legal products that are made from industrial hemp. Federal law says everything that you make from industrial hemp is legal. And so you can't just then pick and choose to ban something. That's why the age restrictions usually hold up, because no one challenges them. If they in Ohio, if they pass a 21 and older, I will be fine with that. I'll walk away and say that's cool. I'm fine with that. We'll only sell this stuff to 21 and older people. Okay, but when they try to ban it, that's when they're going too far. That's government overreach. They don't have the right to do that because this is a 100% legal product. Um, and so, and Tennessee is the latest state. I know, once again, I think Illinois or Missouri once again put another stay on trying to do what they were doing because of people that outreach. In Ohio, same thing. We had a great group of people that went up and educated the people in government that were trying to put this ban through, and because of that education, it kind of stalled. And there are, we knew that we also have some representatives in Ohio that are totally against this. It's ridiculous. Once again, government overreach. Regulate it for adults if you want, make it for adults only. But other than that, if you're going to ban it, and this is what I've said all along, just like I would have said in 1937, if you're going to ban it for safety purposes, health purposes, kids can't get a hold of it, prove that it's unhealthy or unsafe. Okay. And then we'll have those next discussions. But until then, and I get it, I'm not trying to sell kids on anything. Okay. I don't think kids should have Coca Cola. I think we're going to have 21 and older. It should be on caffeine, it should be on all these things. If they're going to tell us as adults that we can only have certain things to protect the children, let's protect them for all the stuff that they get every day. Again, caffeine. We're going to finally go after red dye number 7 and yellow dye number 5 and blue dye whatever, because those are not essential, and kids get those every day, and that can't be healthy to human development, the brain development. these synthetic substances and whatnot. Artificial flavoring. How is artificial flavoring good for the development of the human brain? It can't be. So if you're telling me that cannabis isn't good for the developing human brain, but red dye number 5 and caffeine are, um, then I will argue all day long that you're not really in this for the safety of the children. You're just trying to tell adults what to do. It's a moral issue, not a safety issue. And, so we're going to continue. 2025 is we're going to see a lot more states, I think. And, I think one reason was I do believe it's because a lot of states were waiting to see whether the federal farm bill passed or not, because that might make it easier for them to do some things like this. I truly believe that if they make the changes that they're proposing to make to industrial hemp in the farm bill, we might be suing them for that. Because again, you can't. It's not the farm bill's issue to regulate unsafe substances. Isn't that the FDA or some other agency to say, the ATF or whatever, to say? And again, the ATF tries to say stuff, and it's not true because it's all legal under the federal bill, and only under the federal bill. If it changes, well then I'm sure the DEA will be out in full force telling everyone that part of industrial hemp is now under their regulation again. Is that what we want? Again, it's going to mess things up so badly because we took the DEA out of it. We took it off the controlled substance list. Okay. And so we took the DEA out of it. Now they're going to go backwards, and we're going to bring the DEA in probably for certain cannabinoids. It's a terrible, terrible step backwards. Terrible step backwards. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. This one's for the Houday Nation. We still have a slight chance of making the playoffs.
Right.
With our Cincinnati Bengals. But check out this duvet cover. This is Lulu in Georgia. But it's a tiger, basically a Bengal tiger hemp duvet cover, and it's actually vintage inspired, for what they're saying. But they say it's a bedroom staple, according to the article at Apartment Therapy.
Wow.
So if you're looking for apartment therapy, this particular tiger hemp duvet cover, and obviously matching pillowcases,
Indeed.
is what you need. I really wish I could afford it. It's not cheap, but it's not really super expensive either. I mean, it's not too bad. I think they had it listed at like right around $270 for the. I don't know if that's the duvet cover and the pillow covers, which would be a decent deal, but still a little expensive. But I still paid, I think, over $100 for my hemp comforter on eBay, which was like really cheap comparatively speaking to most of the hemp comforters that I have found online or talked about on this show, for that matter. But I think this one's like just super neat, especially once again if you're in the Bengal area of town. This would be a great hemp uh, adornment. And again, we still got a slight chance.
Right.
Anyway, so let's see here. Here's again, this is interesting, and I know I have reported on this, I believe, for one other study. But they have found that CBD reduces cravings for alcohol among people with drinking problems. Now, this was a 800 milligram dose of CBD, but they said that can help manage certain alcohol cravings. Now, that's a huge, huge consumption amount. Now, I can understand, I suppose, because that would calm the brain and probably satiate any cravings that you would have if you were, especially if you were a daily user of alcohol. Um, but it's also just a massive amount to have to take. Is it worth it? Probably. Alcoholism, 9 times out of 10, does not end well for the human body, um, neither psychologically or physically, for that matter. I think that um, too much, obviously, of anything is harmful. I don't care what it is, and so uh, trying to find a substitute, maybe start smaller and see how a smaller dose might help you. Um, until we can get CBD at a much, 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 much cheaper price, it would be, and that may be part of treatment as far as detoxing. Like, I really, I mean, like, there would be no reason that if you were actually at a rehab center or detox center or something, why they shouldn't, add that in, because maybe it'll only take 5 or 7 days of doing that until you can hope get that, fight those, all that other stuff. I mean, would that help with the DTS when you quit alcohol? I don't know, but past um, past proof may dictate future results when it comes to something like that. They're just saying that this just 800 milligrams may be what you need to stop the craving. Um, because of the alcohol and how much alcohol you maybe try to miss you too. Um, but Happy New Year, Happy New Year. But and so again, all that's going to have to be maybe worked out. But there's no reason why, once again, that this may be something natural that can aid in the recovery of alcoholism. And so um, we'll see, but it makes total sense. Makes total sense, because it's just like kind of like thinking about CBD to quit even cigarette smoking, tobacco, the addiction of nicotine. Um, CBD, we know, calms and helps put the brain in a place that's soothing therapeutically, and so I think that would probably be good for anything. I'm pretty sure, and I'm gonna have to go back and look, that I talked about a study that proved that CBD could also help with getting off of opiates. And then, again, that's a kind of a double whammy there, because most people use opiates for pain relief, um, and so the CBD can help with that, and then the CBD can also help with the anxiety of coming down off of opiates, and how our brain gets addicted to those. So, uh, more studies, more studies, more studies. We know on the anti-inflammation part, we've seen plenty of those studies to say. Now we need to, add more study, show more how well-rounded it can be for all kinds of things, just like this alcoholism, or fighting alcoholisms, or the cravings of alcohol. Um, so New Mexico they're going to research, they're going to grow hemp, sunflowers, and trees with purified fracking wastewater. Okay. Now, water is probably one of the main arguments against fracking. Okay. It's not necessarily removing the natural gases from the shale rock and things. It's too terrible. But the process, okay, this is what they said. They used 7 trillion gallons, or they produced basically 1 trillion, 1 trillion gallons of what they call produced water. Okay. And that's a year just from the oil and gas industry. Okay. And this is just in New Mexico. Okay. Now, right now, they can't reuse that water. Law says. And then this is, actually kind of the law. It's a law in Ohio for that matter, because basically it would define it as gray water. And in a lot of states, you are not allowed to reuse gray water. Now, in New Mexico, I would think they would be a gray water state because, that out there they reuse what little water they have for their gardens and things like that. I'm sure of it. I guess because Ohio has so much water, God forbid, we reuse our gray water to water our plants when we should be out there with a hose paying the waterworks for the water, which is really kind of where I think these laws come in. Now, this I can understand because I don't, and all I have to do is figure out, what can make this water good. Now, the issue is going to be okay, they're going to grow hemp, sunflowers, and trees. Now, it all makes sense, and they're going to figure out whether or if they can use that material um, to, I don't know, to sell the sunflowers, sell the sunflower seeds for the industry. What are they going to do with that hemp? I would seriously doubt that they would use the grain because they may be concerned of, and I would love to see the studies. Once again, just like I would love to see the studies for any phytoremediation when it comes to hemp. You know, we know it removes chemicals from the soil. Where does it put them? And then what can we do with what's left over where it doesn't put them? Does it put any of that in the seed? And if not, then we should be using that seed for food or oil. Maybe turn it into fuel oil, even though there's a very small market for it. Can we do that? Which would be really ironic if we used the hemp from the oil and gas industry fracking wastewater to make fuel from. you know, let's just start putting hemp tanks out in people's houses and let them heat their house with hemp oil, because it would work. It is, again, it has a very high flash point. So somehow I feel like, it's not like propane or natural gas, which are obviously gases. It is oil. But if we could figure out, oil heating systems, which we used to have on hemp, then, I would love to heat my house with hemp oil if I could. Grow my own hemp oil and heat my house with it. But anyway, so this is going to be, again, it's going to be interesting once again, because what we can do with the end result, or what they're going to do or propose to do with the end result, may be beneficial. And again, 1 trillion gallons of water a year wasted. Okay, just to process and make, or cool or refine. I don't know what the process is, but and again, it leads me to the question: can you? I mean, how do they reuse the water when it comes to making cotton material? Because it takes a ton of water to make cotton material. Once again, an argument as to why hemp is the natural solution to what I call the cotton problem. And the cotton problem is it's destroyed the planet. Third of all the chemicals for any agricultural crop, cotton. Ton of water, like 1 million gallons of water to make a T-shirt. I don't know how that all works out, but a lot of water to process it into the material that is so common in clothing and other things. So, it's kind of a double whammy when you use hemp for something like that, because you're removing all that bad stuff and then you're actually replacing it with a product that's 4 to 6 times stronger when it comes to cotton, uses a lot less water, and you can actually get a third more per acre. So we can grow 3 times the amount of fiber on 1 acre for hemp as cottonwood. And then again, cotton takes all these chemicals. So you can't grow cotton anymore without every chemical under the sun going into the soil. And that's why, probably why we grow less cotton in the United States, a lot less than we used to, because it's being grown in foreign countries where they don't care as much about all the chemicals. Where here, we care a little bit more, especially when you're talking about a third of all the chemicals for one agricultural crop. And so, um, once again, I think hemp is a natural solution to trying to remove this um, produced water, and hopefully they can find, the indigenous people up in the northeastern part of the country that recently got their land back, successfully removed like 13 out of 20 or so forever chemicals out of the soil, something the government was supposed to do and didn't do for 30 years before they gave them the land back. But they successfully removed the chemicals, or a lot of the chemicals, through phytoremediation with the hemp, but now have the problem of getting rid of the hemp. And so, there's some things to be worked out there to make all this truly safe when it comes to using hemp to clean soil, which is just another one of the great um, byproducts, I should say, of growing industrial hemp. It is a known phytoremediator. And once again, 13 out of, I think they said there were 22 chemicals in the soil. They successfully removed 13 of those with hemp. Um, so, basically removed over half uh, by using hemp. Now, how they can, remove the other half, I don't know. It's a dilemma everywhere when it comes to Superfund sites. And again, every Superfund site should be growing hemp. Even if they grow the hemp and then just stack it back up, it would pull the chemicals out of the land. Now, I don't know if it would put it back in, if it retted and just laid there. I don't know. Um, but it's something that almost every Superfund site should be looking into, as far as removing chemicals from the soil there, because we know that it can do that. All right. Let's see. Oh, here is I think I sent this over, the pic of the herd particle size. Now, yeah, there we go. Now, herd, which is not really a word, it's usually referred to as shiv. And maybe in 5 years it'll be a word in the Webster's dictionary, because we used herd enough to describe that stalk, the outside stalk, basically, of the hemp plant that breaks down into chips, which we use in the hempcrete. And here you can see the consistency of almost refining those hemp herds. Whereas, like the first one on the left, that would be probably what you would use in hempcrete. And then it gets kind of smaller and smaller and smaller. Like maybe you might use the second one in a press board, or something like that. I don't know. And they broken it down, and then they broke it down all the way down to, in that right hand little corner there. All of those are basically broken down to the size, um, to make biocomposites from. And they say they're a nano suspension with fiber as a natural emulsifier. And so, once again, we're talking about, the that stalk part of the herd part, and look how many different forms and options you would have for making different materials. all the way up to the composites, which would be substitutes for plastic, substitutes for fiberglass, and products like that. And so, and this is just the one part. What's left over after this is the fiber, the flower, and the leaves, for that matter. So this is just the one part of the plant, and one of the more popular parts of the plant these days because of hempcrete and how much how influential hempcrete is becoming in the construction world. We still got a long way to go before it's even used semi regularly, but more and more and more and more and more and more people are building and using hempcrete. More, what they call an insulation now, because you can't use it as load bearing here in the United States. We have seen load bearing hempcrete buildings built all over the world. In France, 10-story hempcrete buildings, probably, strengthened by rebarb like we do concrete now. But the residents of those buildings swear that the insulation properties, they've noticed the insulation properties. It's warmer in the winter and it's cooler in the summer. And so, that herd there, could lead to a building, or you might even be able to add some of that in the bigger sizes into fiber insulation. You can use that for cat litter that we've seen, an absorption. We've seen where you can basically take that and throw it on oil, and it will absorb the oil where there's oil spills. We've seen this done and proven that it does a good job of even cleaning oil spills out in waterways. So, and then you can make all the buoys out of hemp composite, which is made out of this material as well, which would, they I don't think that, obviously they're not going to live as long as a plastic buoy, which would be floating around in the ocean forever. But, if you get 20 years out of a hemp buoy and then it deteriorates and goes into the ocean, you're not harming the fish. There's no nanoplastics. There's no, it's just natural. It's not going to do any damage to the environment wherever it's floating. And so we need to be using more biocomposites for things like that, which I have shown on the show. So, all right, I'm going to leave you. I did a series of cartoon comics. This is a comic. I'll leave you with a comic that apparently I don't remember. I think this might have been the first one. I'm going to have to go back now and see, but I did maybe like 10 of these just because I found this fun something on the interweb to make comics. And so this was the first Temptations Beach by Jedi Hemp comic that's out there. I'll leave it up there. We probably don't know if we can blow it up any bigger than that, but I couldn't find a character with a baseball cap, by the way, which I didn't really like. But the guy on the right does kind of look like me. I can read it. Did you know hemp seed is a great source of protein and omegas? And the fiber is the strongest natural fiber on the planet? And plastic from the seed oil? And 4 times paper per acre than tree pulp in less time? And build a house from the ground up. Hempcrete, particle board, insulation. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're having hemptations. And then if you look at the top, it says on a beach, not around here. True. and then on the end there, all the while, no THC. So,
very nice.
Fun stuff. It's fun stuff. All right. Well, we've only got one event that I know of. Next Tuesday is the medical marijuana meetup here in Cincinnati. It's from 8 to 11. It's at Karrakin, and that's Karrakin Spirits Company over on kind of the east side, Fairfax area. Again, I go to the medical marijuana meetups, to represent hemp and talk hemp to anyone that wants to talk hemp. I learn about hemp. I learn about cannabis. We've moved these. Bonnie's moved these to, and we're going to go back to once a month, which I'm excited about as well. But now we have the place to ourselves, and so you don't have to fight for parking with anybody anywhere else like we used to have to do. Um, they still have probably, I'm going to guess 5 or 6 beers. I mean, they make the spirits there. They have soft drinks. They have a menu. You can order food, and you can come and talk about all things cannabis, because there's someone there representing every level and form of cannabis that's out there, from recreational to the hemp to everything. And so it's I really, I don't think I've been to one in, I'm guessing, 3 years now. I'm gonna have to ask Bonnie exactly how long she's been doing this. But I don't think I've ever been to one, honestly, where I didn't have an educational conversation with someone, whether it was me teaching them or them teaching me. Um, because, as we all know from the High Noon Hemp Show, I am in no ways, means, and forms stopped learning about cannabis. you know, I don't know if I want to live to be 80 something, but I could keep researching cannabis for probably another 30 years and keep coming up with stuff. We'll see if the High Noon Hemp Show is still on. I don't know. We will get to 300 episodes in 2025 with the High Noon Hemp Show. So, like I said, go subscribe to the Jedi Hemp channel. This is the only thing I really do. I may start putting the other videos, the one from the USDA and stuff on there on the Jedi Hemp channel. I don't know if I can do that, but basically the Jedi Hemp channel has mostly just High Noon Hemp shows. Got some old stuff that I made, commercials like I made myself and whatever I think. If you really dive deep into what's available, I don't know. But once again, you got over 280 episodes of the High Noon Hemp Show, and I would almost guarantee that even if you went back, and they may be dated a little bit, maybe not, but almost every episode you're going to learn something that you probably didn't know about hemp. Either way.
That's right.
So, thanks everybody for watching. Once again, Hempy New Year. Here's to 2025. We'll see. Here goes the ride again. Hopefully the ride will move forward with cannabis and not backwards. That's something that I think we all need to shoot for. Pay attention to your state laws. Get in touch with your federal employees, and tell them not to change the things in the farm bill they want to change. I'll try to keep everybody updated when they are trying to do something squirrely in your state. So you can get on them and get out there. And let me tell you, every voice matters now. And I think that what I really like about the hemp movement and the cannabis movement is people are less and less afraid to say, hey, government, stop acting like idiots. Okay, I support this. Even if you're not a user one way or another, if you've never used hemp, you should still support the idea of American hemp farming and everything that it can do to benefit us humans, our pets, the soil, the water, the air, because of how much carbon, how good it is as a carbon sequester. And there's just so many reasons why we all need to be fighting to keep this plant as legal as we can and to make it more legal. Either way. So thanks everybody for watching the first High Noon Hemp Show of 2025. Here's to many, many more. We'll see you next Wednesday. And remember, reduce, reuse, recycle. Make everything else out of hemp. Having temptations.
See y'all next week.